Hi, so we're looking to create a moment connection through this. Now, generally, there would be two beams, one on the other side, and they'll be welded through this for basically a cantilever. So I'm just going to do the one side. You can mirror it or copy it across afterwards. So basically, I will go to connection vault. You want to do clip angle, and this was going to be one part of the connection. You can see that this is not a perfect connection. I've set everything to defaults. So let's go top cope. We want to change this to main flange. Generally, this would be set to 0.5 or 0.75 for 3/4 of an inch. But in this case, I just want to leave a 1/4 inch of a space for the welds for the root pass. So let me do that, and then I want to do inside a secondary here 0.75. So that's the space inside here, and you'll see it on the bottom one here when we do it. So we'll do the same main 0.25 and inside secondary, and I want to make that 0.75. So there you go. So this is kind of the start of it. So next we want to put on this connection. Let me go to connection vault. You can use either of these actually, but the backup bars won't be in the right place for this one. So this one here, we want to apply this over here. So if you just test it out, you can see that it operates off the system line or the end of the system line of this beam. So what I will do is I will drag this one back in the Z direction, and I'll drag it back to this corner here. So now it's the same. It's got a 1/4 inch space in here, and then I'll go back into that connection, this one, and now I don't know why they can't. I mean, I feel like they should add this connection into this macro, and that would be perfect, but who am I? Maybe nobody else needs this, only me. Weld preparation. Alright, so we can see what's going on. Let's just switch this back. And so what I want to do is the backup bar is with the end of this beam. So the backup bar is 1 inch and the space is a 1/4 inch, so I want to move it over this way 3/4. So let's go to the backing bar. We want to offset it -0.75, sorry, -0.75, and we want to do a value for that. We'll make it 8 inches so it extends either side, so that's good. And the one on the top is correct. The one on the bottom, I don't want to have to do an overhead weld, and my client won't want to do an overhead weld, so let's go to change this to the back. So we can see we're pretty good there now. That's kind of what we want, but we want it over here on this also. So what we can do now is let's copy this connection, and we'll copy it over to here also. Now you can see I'm missing some of the beam, so you're like, oh no, that's not going to work. But if you go back in here and check your weld preparation, you can see there's an inner cut here of 0 of 3/8. If we make that 0, that has messed that up. So what you want to do is, let's go back a couple of steps, and let's click on this and weld preparation, make this 0 now. I should have done this first. This should work as far as I know. And then we want to copy this over, and we can see that that has worked. The only problem is right now that I don't like that. It's too big, that cut. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to the weld preparation and I'm going to change that to 0.75 because that's the same distance I have set in here for the cut. I have this set to 0.75 to this cut. So now let's copy this. And there you go. Now it's not perfect. You can see here this is not perfect. So let's come in here and let's turn on the visibility. You can see that's where the curves are. So really what we can do is you can really just delete this. So what I'm going to do is rotate through the x-axis. So rotate through the x-axis, come in here to your features palette, and I'll do a square, and I want to do a square on this beam, and I want to do it from this point here to this point here, and then I can delete this one. No, I can't delete that one because I have not deleted the connection box. So advanced joint properties, there's my connection box, delete my connection box, I don't need it anymore. So that's what you have there now, and then do the same down here. And do the same down here, copy it. You're basically just drawing it over this one, there's no fillet on the corner. And then delete that. And now you can see you have the connection that you want. So let me delete this. And we can see it a little better. And you can see that that's what I need anyway. Maybe everybody's not the same, but that will work for me. And then what you want to do is, I generally delete these. You don't really need to delete that, but let's see if this works. We'll create a custom connection. Let's make 2D wireframe so everything is visible. All my cuts are visible here, so what we want to do is come down here, custom connection. Now I have not saved this, so let's save this in a folder here somewhere. And we'll just save it in here. Test moment, save that. Alright, so now we can do our custom connection. And I want to do two beams. I want to do this beam and this beam. And I want to name it moment cantilever. And select all the drivers. I want everything in there, including all the cuts, and it's going to be this kind of a situation. And this is the main beam, and this is the secondary beam. Okay, just close that, and it has created your moment connection. Now you can't copy this one straight away. You wanna go back in here, test moment, and it shows you here what you've got. Okay, and then we're going to select the beam, and then select the secondary beam, and it has not worked. So we're missing a couple of parts. You can see it's missing the cuts here on the top. The backup bars are not in the right place, so that was a bit of a fail, to be fair. So let's delete that, and let's delete those. Sorry, let me go back because I want to delete this whole thing. Alright, so let's delete this and we'll try one more time. So I don't know why it didn't select everything. So it has selected all of those and all of those cuts up there. let's cut that end cut. That seems to work. Now maybe if I delete this connection box, so what we'll try it one more time with selecting everything like this. So what we'll do is let's try again. We'll do two beams, this beam, this beam, and we'll just name it 1 this time. We won't get too crazy. And we appear to have selected everything, right? So what I'll do is actually I'll select this way and then I'll deselect these. And I want to do this one, and let's just do 1 and 2 so we don't have to go through writing everything in. And then we're going to go to this one. Okay, select the beam, and again it's not working, right? So that's no good. So let's delete that again. Now let's delete that connection and let's delete this box, and now it should work, I think, because that box is gone. I think that box was what was restricting us. So let's see if this works. Two beams, this beam, name it 1, and we're going to select all these parts. This one here, and we'll put main and secondary. Close it, and let's try that connection. And we can see if we delete the box that does work. So now you can just copy that around. Now after you create the second one, you should be able to pick that and then just copy it using that command. But it won't work with the first one, I believe. It'll only work with the second one. So hopefully that helps. You can see there's a connection. Now you'll have all sorts of issues with beams that are smaller than other beams and things like that, and you'll have to make slight variations, but that will work. Alright, take care.